Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in Odessa the Dark Crusade Season 2. On this fine, cloudy evening, we set the scene with Menmon, who has just received a report from one of his Nosferatu contacts regarding potentially illicit transactions occurring between the Smithies Guild and various undesirables scattered across the city. It's been a few nights now, and Menmon, you have received word back from your contact tonight. He has discovered the whereabouts and nature of these particular transactions on your behalf, having seen some of the transactions unfold personally from the cover of Obfuscate. The transaction itself appears to be legal, although the buyer is somewhat dubious. A simple bartender in a tavern in the easternmost part of Riverside shouldn't have need of so many weapons, nor should they have the income to make such large, in bulk purchases. He states that he would have investigated further, but when he approached the area the man worked in, his pets, as he refers to them, seemed extremely jumpy in regards to the tavern. Unnaturally so. They're not normally so disturbed around people. So he stopped short there, as he did not believe it worth the risk or the price. But he gives you all of this information, and thanks you for your business.
Memnon would return the gratitude for diligence.
You may need to speak up a little bit, as you're very quiet into the mic right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Um, Memnon would have returned a gratitude for his observations, his diligence.
He wishes you well and a happy funeral, as he seems to somewhat expect you to go after this lead.
Yeah, well, got to break a few eggs and omelets, all that.
Mm. You're not unwise. Nosferatu are just weak.
Well, still, he'll proceed with caution.
So I presume you're going to head down to this tavern.
Yes, yes, yes. Memnon is going to go casually dressed. He's not going to go with any of his equipment. He doesn't quite want to um, come off as if he's looking for trouble.
Um, you don't have to feel too concerned, at least heading into the western centermost part of Riverside. That area is being rebuilt and has largely been tamed by the City Watch at this stage. The eastern side where this bar is, largely on that side. And you find that the City Watch quickly replaced by thugs and dubious armed men.
So it seems that the City Watch is keeping their distance from this part of town.
You know, they've tried to crack this particular skull, but haven't been able to. Very heavy criminal presence down here. But yes, the City Watch don't really come down here too much. You know that they try, but it doesn't really work out for them. They haven't been able to make much progress.
Well, as Memnon makes his way to the bar, does he find himself accosted?
Pardon?
Does Memnon find himself accosted by anybody as he makes his way through this part of town towards the bar?
No. But everyone keeps track of you. Very few civilians there.
So it seems like the streets are empty, almost.
Fairly, an odd one passes by. Might hear someone skittering off into an alley. That's about it. You were able to make your way to the tavern unaccosted. But you do seem to be kept track of by the local thuggery. They don't necessarily follow you. But there's always eyes on you from somewhere on the street.
So, is Memnon given any resistance from entering the bar? Does it look like it's packed, or is there like bouncers or some sort outside?
The tavern, I should mention, it's called the Charging Board. There's a little one of those signs that kind of flaps in the breeze. There's like a little picture of like coat of arms of a bull that's running through like some sort of wall. It's quite windy out tonight. Just kind of notice now that you're actually looking at the sign as it kind of flaps in the breeze. So it's almost a gale force. If you just didn't notice it because you're a canine now, these things don't really concern you anymore.
Yeah, sure. Does Memnon pick up any kind of Look at this. Unnatural presence or something about the area that might be irregular.
No, there is a very heavy security presence around the tavern.
I'm sorry, that was a what kind of presence?
Heavy security presence, very well armed, professional-looking men. You could mistake them for soldiers.
Hmm. Can I study the weapons to discern if that was crafted by his hand? Any of their stuff?
Yeah, roll it. Roll perception crafts.
Success.
Ooh. Um, Not on the soldiers outside, no. You do recognize the craftsmanship. It's from colleagues.
Does Memnon know offhand who that colleague is, or is it more like you just recognize that it comes from the guilds?
You recognize it. How many successes did you get?
If it's a 6 difficulty, 2.
You
If
vaguely remember. It's from a guy that belongs to the Smithies Guild.
interesting. Let's see if Memnon can tell right away that these guys aren't of the Watch, I don't think he's gonna necessarily pester them with questions at the moment. Do they look like they're on duty, or are they just here to like relax, like they are actually employed by the bar?
They seem fairly lax, but they don't seem to be loitering either. So it looks like they are here on a job of sorts.
Well, if none of them are going to block his entrance, Memnon will make his way in.
They don't. They leer at you, but they don't go out of their way to do anything to you. They just kind of gives you the old stink eye.
Fair enough.
And you enter the bar. It's actually fairly lively in here. One of very few centers of community for Riverside, it appears, as there is a healthy amount of people in the tavern. A lot of them look like they're kind of not getting by too well, either fiscally or physically. It's kind of a weird mishmash of peasantry and people that appear far more well versed in violence. You can see what a fair amount of what you would call to either be mercenaries or thugs or soldiers or fighters hanging around the bar, showing the drinks. There's even a little fight circle that's been set up around the center of the bar. Someone's taking cash and betting on who will win. Two people in the pit right now is some wiry man of native descent. Up against a very short dwarf who's actually got quite the win record here. Came in about a few years ago into this city. He's supposedly been the reigning champion of this fight circle ever since. He looks like he's about to get another victory, so he's kicking the shit out of this guy.
Awesome.
But yeah, despite his small size, he is by far and away the best fighter here, apparently. So there's quite a lot of entertainment going around, a lot of people just engaging in average conversation, some people jeering and cheering at the fight circle. And on the left side of the tavern, there is there's a stairway that goes up and to the right and leads up onto the second floor. But that is currently being blocked by 3 guards, one at the bottom stair, one halfway up, and then one at the top. There's also the bartender who is serving drinks.
What was? Is Memnon familiar with the look of the man he paid to have information dug up on?
Nosferatu gave you a description, he matches it. You're not entirely sure if it's him, though, because you haven't seen him firsthand.
What? But he was at least given. Was he given a name?
Yeah, you're given the name. One sec. Yeah, you're given the name Faisal.
Alright. So,
The bartender is, the description that you were given is that, fairly well-built, scruffy, balding Caucasian male. Speaks Arabic with a heavy French accent, a Frankish accent.
and the bartender looks like that, but not quite sure if that is the guy.
Yeah, he's got cauliflower ears.
Okay. Well, I think Memnon will.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
you overweight, just a tad, not much.
Well, Memnon will not to stand out too much. He'll make his way to the bartender. He'll purposely try to perhaps make a case of mistaken identity. He'll well when he can get face to face with the bartender, he'll just ask him. I'm sorry, are you Faisal?
Who's asking? Want the drink?
Oh, I'll take a drink, sir. And Memnon is asking.
Well, I'm afraid I have no idea what the fuck a Menmon is, so you'll have to settle for the drink, I'm afraid.
Oh, I can tell you, Memnon is the greatest smith this city has ever seen.
Oh god, one of those. Ah. I feel you'll find we already have enough egos in Riverside.
Did not shine a light to mine. But I am sorry if I've made a mistake. I'm looking for a gentleman who, well, he bears a resemblance to you.
I see, well. Tell me a bit about it and maybe I can help you out.
Yes, I approached this gentleman through a friend of mine looking for business. His partners, opening some new markets, but I'm afraid that I've gained a very ill reputation for being somewhat pushy. They're all lies, I assure you. I'll roast subterfuge.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
But I have come here looking for him, simply to put such nonsense to rest.
That's very, bold of you.
Man must defend his reputation.
And, this Faisal's here in Riverside? Not much here but peasants and bandits. He just looks off to the side and goes, no offense.
Well, peasants perhaps do not have much coin, bandits a little bit more, but peasants can pay in other ways. There is always a commodity to be had, I believe.
Well, I'll keep an ear out for you and see what I hear.
Oh, I'd appreciate that. And your name, sir?
Oh, my name? Oh, it's just Galal.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Say, I happened to notice those soldiers.
You can roll perception and feel that, by the way.
Sure. 3 successive. No, sorry, 4 successive to 56.
Oh yeah, he's lying his ass off.
Okay. What was the lie about that he is pleased to
He called himself Galal, and he took way too long to come up with that name. He was pretty quick about it, but you noticed the pause. You caught him off guard.
Well, Memnon will he'll keep the conversation going, but he'll direct it towards the guards he saw outside. He'll ask if are those men employed by the bar? Tavern?
Yeah, it can be a bit of a rough neighborhood, and the city watch has never been particularly reliable, or useful, or good at anything other than, well, being another form of banditry, I guess, so we hire our own help here.
Yes, they recognize some of their equipment. That's field armament, isn't it?
Couldn't say. I just buy where I can get the best deal.
Yes. And that is exactly which is the topic of conversation, my friend. A deal. If you don't mind me asking, what did you pay for that? I'm sure Memnon can give you a much better price.
Make me charisma. Make me a charisma commerce roll. To try and convince him.
Success? 6.
You're pretty convincing. That's 3 successes is full success. You're very, very convincing. He says, you offer him a decent price without going too low. His head kind of tilts, his eyes kind of squint, and he kind of hums and haws a little bit. I'll have to think about it. You know, we only just met, but give me a few nights. We might be able to work something out.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. One must make a decision based on prudence and, well, of course, their own intellect.
Yeah, and it never hurts to have a couple of spare arms lying around just in case.
Indeed. I was misaligned as being somewhat subversive when it comes to my dealings. I hope you can see that is completely a lie. I may be pushy and at times I may be insistent. However, I want you to know I've never cheated a man out of a deal. I've always paid my end. If people are to think that I am pushy, it is not because I have done something against them. No, they're but weak. For the record, Memnon is trying to if he Memnon believes that this guy might be who he's looking for, or might just really know exactly who he's looking for. So he's trying to kind of project an air of, hey, I'm not necessarily so innocent, but you know. And do it in a more charismatic way. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
No, yeah, it makes sense. You do notice, because he got 3 or 4 successes on empathy check, you do know he is being noticeably cagey around you. Like he's very guarded. He's definitely withholding a lot of information from you. Like he's not saying too much.
Okay, I guess we're gonna do a little bit more digging.
Yeah, as I said, just give it a few nights. We might be able to work something out. It's... Need to make sure everything's in order and, that I'm actually, good for everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Don't make all that, much around here, so, gotta be very prudent with what I do have. A skill not many of us around here actually possess. He kind of lays at the tavern.
Well, if Memnon can, like, just looking at like the head count, figuring from the information he got from his Nosferatu contact, like, can you just do some quick math to see like what kind of money this bar would need to bring in if it were legitimate in order to purchase that kind of like.
Yeah, roll me wit seneschal.
Five success. It's difficulty 6.
It seems like a bar a little bit above the level of slightly above the class of people that would normally reside in Riverside, but that's not saying much, to be honest. It's not run down. It's a fairly decently sized, has a second floor, not bad. But it's not that spacious, it's not that big. It's fairly modest in its interior decor. An upper class merchant or noble probably would be caught dead here. But it's more than suitable for its location. I don't think... I don't think they need to bring in too many patrons. long as they have a trickling of regulars, they should be able to make it through just fine. It's probably just the bartender, the cook, if there is one. The bartender might be the cook, and maybe one other person, maybe a cleaner or the owner. But you wouldn't even. It's unlikely that they'd even pay the person that cleans the space all that much, and they just do it themselves.
Okay, so there.
You do notice a few splinters on the floor when you look around. Looks like they go through furniture fairly frequently.
We're definitely saving on decorum.
Yeah, but it is weird. What does strike you as extremely strange is they could easily do so much better. Like they have an entirely separate floor which is locked off. That could bring in maybe double the amount of people. Like this place could be swimming in money potentially. But it's almost like they're cutting their own revenue stream in half, or cutting in the potential for it. There's no guarantee that people will fill the second floor to capacity, but being one of a few centers of community in Riverside, probably good.
They could definitely corner the market.
So
that's the angle they're going towards.
Yeah. Remember, when you walked in, you did notice it was very lively down here. The bottom floor's more or less filled to capacity. So you think they could probably fit a bunch of people on the second floor if they actually tried. So, for some reason, they've barred off the second floor.
I don't think Memnon's going to play a card just yet, but
it's yeah, this place is making good money, which is the answer to your original question. This place is making pretty good money. Kind of going over this, the bartender just kind of drifts off, pour some drinks for a few more people.
Okay.
Back to you if you called him over.
You know what? I'm gonna let him do his thing. Memnon's gonna ask maybe the patron to his left or his right, what he likes about the place. I think one's gonna be one to answer.
For a second, I thought you disconnected. No, you look over to one guy on this side, and the guy on your right says, "That's what I like about this place. It's the only place."
So it's a lack of options, I take it.
I mean, it's fine. It's lively. Always something to do. If you want work or something done, you come here.
So you've been able to find work in this establishment?
I worked security for this place in the past.
Do they pay well?
Came in from Samosata a few years ago. Wound up here, got into a brawl. Find myself employed for a few months and moved on to better things. Still Comet though. It's a pretty nice place. Got a good thing going. Pretty much the only place we could go to when the plague hit.
Oh, so this place was spared from the ravages of it. That's a blessing.
Yeah, kinda. Pretty fucking quiet when the plague was going on. Not many of us here.
Since the City Watch has moved in force, has this place, has it suffered a loss of business, or has everyone...
The City Watch Lights, I think, came in with force, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
He said, oh yeah, the City Watch like to think they've come in with force.
Ooh, can I get a perception?
Yeah.
Two success, maybe?
I mean, he clearly disdains them. He clearly disdains the City Watch.
So Memnon would just ask him if place has lost business since then. At least, you know, if that guy has noticed.
Yeah, I know the City Watch is trying to build up certain parts of the Riverside. But, don't think it's gonna last, to be honest. They'll come in, claim victory, leave, and then everything will go back to the way it used to be, so, nobody's really holding their breath.
Surely there must be some resentment the more wealthier class buying up the property and leaving so many of the hardworking people cast out.
Yeah, fucking parasites buying up all the property and selling it to the fucking aristocracy. Not that it really matters to anyone here. Not really our business to interfere with their shit after all.
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that first say?
It's not really our business to interfere with their shit after all, even if they are leeches. Doesn't really change what everybody else has to do to get by on the ground, so I say leave them to their misery. I'm doing just fine.
Yes, focusing on one's own success and not the detriment of another's is much more profitable, I believe.
Well, as I said, they ain't really succeeded at anything. They're just gonna build up the place, leave, and then, well, what then? Honestly, at the end of the day, it's just more business for us.
I'm sure they have taste just like any common man. concerns.
Yeah. It's not like anyone with a fat purse is going to be coming down here. That just ain't Riverside. But there is a fortune to be made here, if you know how to go about it.
Memnon will ask the bartender if he could buy his new friend a drink, and he'll ask the gentleman if perhaps he can purchase a good tip of advice.
Yeah, bartender will pour you and your friend a drink. And your new friend will say, "Thanks, mate." It's a Midland, right?
That it is.
Yeah. Well, be careful around here. You look more well dressed than most of us.
That's very wise. But I can handle myself. Thank you for your concern.
Hey, man, just saying. He chugs away at your drink, or the drink you bought for him. Some raucous laughter and cheering at the center of the tavern.
I'm sorry, what was happening at the center of the tavern?
There's some raucous cheering at the center of the tavern. Looks like our dwarven fellow has continued his what's it now? Probably like coming up close to 40 wins. He's almost gone he's gone God knows how many months at this point without a loss. And this is just ever since they started recording.
Because Memnon does have some curiosity about that door. Does he look unmarred, or does he look like he's just been able to stand?
He's battered and bruised.
Yeah.
This guy wears his injuries like badges of honor. Not that he can really hide them. But yeah, he's picked up by his fans, and he does actually have fans who take him over to a table and yell at the bartender to deliver them like half a dozen drinks. The bartender will begin pouring them drinks, realize one of the casks is empty, and go to replace it. Or go to refill it, sorry. And he heads around the back.
Let's see. Did Memnon catch what they called the bartender? Or did they just say like something like barkeep?
You know what? Yeah. Yeah, they call him Faisal.
Ah, okay.
They literally go, "Yo, Faisal, give us some fucking drinks." And Faisal heads around the back to refill the casket.
Well, Memnon will while he's departed, Memnon will try to make an introduction with the dwarf if he's not given too much resistance or any resistance by his fans.
He's kind of surrounded by his fans. As you go to approach, would you like to roll me a perception alertness?
Sure. Would my acute sense of sight come into play?
Yeah, this is sight based, so yeah.
Okay. Only 2 successes.
You notice that the guard guarding the bottom of the stairwell has had his eyes on you for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And he heads out to the second floor and just vanishes. As he enters the door, he just vanishes through the door, just kind of walks on through. He actually, before he enters, he does knock thrice and whispers something into the door, and he heads on through as the door is opened from the other side.
Okay.
You don't see who opens it, though. You don't have a good angle.
So, guard had. So Memnon just basically like caught him eyeing Memnon before he abruptly turned.
Yeah.
Door. Okay. Well, it's not something Memnon's going to address right at this moment, but we'll keep note of that. Yeah. Well, he'll proceed to talk to the dwarf if he can, if the dwarf would talk to him.
Dwarf's fairly busy getting celebrity treatment from his fans, but you can try and get a word in if you want. You're gonna have to talk over a lot of people, though.
Okay. Yeah, Memnon will he'll first try with a like a congratulations on your victory. He'll extend a hand out, just to shake the dwarfs, just being cordial.
Dwarf grabs your wrist and shakes that instead. He has quite a strong grip. As he says, "Hey, it's a fucking new face. Ooh, you got yourself a grip there."
Hard work swinging a hammer, I assure you. Wow.
Ah, you're a smith. What's the smith going? What's the smith doing down here? For the only fucking craftsman we down there was Mason. Sorry, not Mason. Pierce.
here.
How do you get yourself thrown down here then? What do you do? How do you fuck up?
Memnon just laughs very loudly. Ah, where you might see a vacant nothingness, I see an untapped potential. I'm looking for investments in new markets.
Oh, well, fuck, you're brave. Sure you shouldn't be down in the centre of the rest of the fucking merchants and their babysitters.
That is where all the competition is. Why, with but a little bit of courage, I can go where there is none.
I mean, there's
Or,
plenty of competition here.
not quite with the expertise I bring. As you say, what has brought me down here? It's not likely that Smiths make their way into Riverside.
Whatever. Well, I'm no fucking steward. Can't help you there. Would like to see you in the ring sometime, though. You might be the first person to actually give me a worthwhile challenge.
Memnon lets out a slow smile. He nods a little bit. I do like to brawl for good sport. Perhaps one day I'll grant you your wish.
Looking forward to it. To be honest, everybody gets thrown down here. Fucking pansies. Can see why they haven't been able to make it anywhere else. Honestly, they could use a good shit kicking. Toughen them up a little bit.
You present me with quite a paradox. The reputation of Riverside, I've always heard, was something to be feared. But yet you say so many are pansies. Has this been a new turn or faltering of this neighborhood's reputation?
What? Fuck no. You just respect Riverside and Riverside respects you. Simple as that. And you have to crack a few skulls, you crack a few skulls. I make a good living cracking skulls. He, like, gestures to the crowd. Ain't that right? And the crowd's like... crowd kind of cheers for him.
Mm-hmm. Memnon will say, that is just the kind of straightforward honesty I admire.
Well, ain't anything more honest than a fist to the face. Hey, Faisal, get this motherfucker some drinks.
And whenever Faisal comes close by, Memnon will take the drink and just say, "Thank you very much, Faisal."
Yeah, fuck off. He just walks back towards the bar after delivering them their drinks.
All right.
You didn't finish your last drink, by the way.
Oh, didn't I? How rude of me. I am not quite as thirsty as, well, some of the other patrons are here. As I say, I have a thirst for business. But it's all paid in the same. Did Memnon give him the coin for that?
He did, yeah. Yeah, well, don't buy a drink if you ain't gonna drink it. I gotta clean that up at the end of the night. He just ambles on back off towards the fucking bar. His mood rather spoiled by the fact that you now know his name.
Of course, of course. Um,
You notice that the guard is back at the bottom of the stairs, by the way. You're not entirely sure when he came out.
hmm,
Probably when you were talking to the dwarf.
um, guess Memnon would ask the Halaxadorf if well, Halaxadorf, like, what's with all of the security here? That he himself hasn't seen, like, this much security except in like wealthier parts of Odessa, outside of Riverside.
Ah. Why the fuck you asking that?
Well, I'm not quite a native to Riverside, but the news I heard from the Merchants District is that the City Watch in Riverside did quite a job against gang activity. I'm surprised to see so many private guards here, as if there's still something that might harm the local populace.
Well, sorry, I didn't catch that. I think I liked that a bit.
Oh, Memnon said that he's he's curious because he heard that the City Watch had done such a great job cleaning out the criminal element from Riverside that to see so many guards here is kind of like a contradiction to him.
Dwarf kind of eyes you a little bit. I don't see what the problem is.
Memnon will say, it's not quite a problem to have so many guards. It's just strange if there is no problem and yet still have as many guards. Is there still a element of danger in the neighborhood? Have not the guard made this part of Riverside safe?
I don't see why there is a problem. You can never, you can never pay too much for safety.
I suppose that is a fair point.
His his mood has noticeably flattened,
Mm-hmm.
and his his fans look a little bit uneasy as well.
Mm, interesting. Interesting. Well, I suppose that the guard, the city watch, may just have a run for their money if these privateers are keeping you, keeping you good folks safe, safer than the watch.
All I can say is I'm doing just fine down here.
Well, cheers to your prosperity, my friend.
Yeah, cheers. He'll just take a swig of his drink.
Amongst the amongst his fans, is there is there any women there?
Yeah.
I guess sensing the unease, Memnon will try to divert attention somewhere else. He'll pick one of the ladies out and make a compliment to her on her looks and the way she looks. However unconventional she may look.
Roll me charisma subterfuge, baby.
You got it.
Both to flatter the nice lady and divert attention away from the unease, which you do quite well. You are not that guy this evening.
That guy.
You've been rolling very well, in fact.
An average of 2 to 3 success. Not bad.
Yeah. Everybody hears you take note in the door says. Oh. Lagging again? What is wrong? No. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, the dwarf notices and he says, "Yeah, lass, you're quite beautiful. Here, come have a sit down with good honey."
Oh, what's his name?
His name is Hani.
Honey. That's my mom got that.
But yeah. As that happens, you take a quick look around again, and guard is eyeing you up. Still.
Memnon will
He doesn't hide it either. Like, you look back at him and he just kind of continues staring.
right. Memnon will hand his drink to the lady that's sitting next to the body. He'll just even if like he'll just be very quick about it. He'll be like, "Here, finish this for me, my dear." And he'll get up. He's not really going to try to listen for her response, whether she says thank you or if she has one. But he'll
Everybody here get drunk, it's fine.
he'll excuse himself and he'll approach the garden very casually. He'll say, "Do I know you?"
No.
Have we seen each other before?
Why are you asking?
Oh, I've just noticed that you were glancing at me. Perhaps I was a familiar face to you, or you to me, and I've forgotten. I would hate to be rude.
Oh no, you're quite a new face.
Ah, I see. I don't have quite the bona fides as some of your other regulars.
No, you're from Outer Riverside, right?
That's correct.
What brings you all the way out here? It's pretty dangerous down here.
Hmm. I was looking for a friend of mine. Well, hopefully a new friend that I wanted to discuss business with.
Who are you dealing with? I don't know of anybody that could afford services from a man as well dressed as yourself. Not in this area of town, at least. Maybe the western side, closer to the Merchant's Quarter.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
Yes, I
doing
was
a good
looking.
job of building that place up. It's happy to see it.
Hmm.
It's real good. It's real great.
Can I get a perception on that?
You really don't need to.
Okay. Is he being like super sarcastic?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good to see him bringing the area back up to standard.
Can Memnon get a read on what religion this guy is?
He wears no religious symbols, so it's more or less impossible to tell.
Okay. Um, he'll throw out a mention that he'll throw out the mention that he was part of constructing a new church in Riverside. He he'll confess that he's put some investment to the area. That he's just getting to know his fellow neighbors, in a sense.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice. I would have personally expanded on Father Thomas's though. Poor guy could use it.
Is that the same priest Memnon and Irene met, Father
Yeah,
Thomas?
same guy.
Memnon will mention that he's familiar with Father Thomas. He'll mention that things were already in the work by the time he met Father.
Yeah, a lot more security out and about town now.
Yes, there.
He just lets it hang now. By the way, the silence is just that long.
Oh, okay. Um, Memnon would he'd just say, "Yes, I'm sure that's good for some, perhaps not for others. Their sweep of the area, I'm sure, impacted the local commerce in a sense."
Yeah, I'm sure.
Memnon will briefly ask well, I don't want to say this as he's not really asking a question for an answer. He's just gonna kind of like throw this statement out there. He'll say, "I couldn't help but notice the staircase you have leading upwards."
That's where staircases go. Yep.
Sorry, that was a good way to phrase that. But wait, they can always go downwards. However, anyway. Then I was just he's gonna comment that as crowded as the room down here is getting, is upstairs not a part of the public area?
No, it's unstable.
Memnon wants to eye the construction to see if that holds any weight. The place does indeed look like it can't support any weight upstairs.
You can check the ceiling, but you need to check the floors from.
Okay. Does it look like they at least have enough support beams?
Yeah. It's very difficult to say.
Okay. Okay.
You can't really. It's because you're not looking at the bottom side of the floor. You're looking at a ceiling.
Hmm.
So it's not really the same thing. The ceiling seems fine.
Okay.
There's no damage to it.
Well, Memnon will then cheerfully say, I do dabble as an architecture. If your proprietor would be interested in some renovations, I can give him a very good price."
It won't be necessary.
Fair enough, but I would very much appreciate if you passed it along anyway. At least let the offer be out there.
Maybe I will. You know, enjoying a drink? A second one you passed off now.
I'm not quite thirsty or hungry much. I ate before I left. I'll roll that lie if
I need to check this guy's stats real quick. Jesus. Yeah, you're convincing. Really? Well, if you had a good meal and a good drink, why come to a tavern?
Like I said, I was looking for a business associate, someone that I was hoping would become my business associate. And
Business associate?
yes, someone that I wish to do business with.
Who'd that be? Maybe I know him.
Yes, well, I'm looking for the merchant Faisal. He was, and then I will make the description of, like, what he heard of the guy.
How do you know Faisal?
Ah, yes. Let's see that. Yes, there are some. There's a bar in the Merchant's Quarter, the Red Calf. A friend of mine worked there. Couldn't happen but overhear that some merchants had experienced some losses with the upheaval here in Riverside. I had incurred a reputation that some think that, well, I am a little subversive when it comes to my dealings. All lies, I assure you. When I heard that this had befallen such a merchant, I wanted to show my good nature, my good charity, that I am willing to help my fellow common man. Well, I simply wanted to make a proper introduction to him and see if he can still, well, benefit from my help. And those are all lies, I'm sure. So do you roll subterfuge again?
No, you don't need to. That's interesting. And I'll be back in a sec. I'm just gonna go check the second floor, make sure nothing's gonna break through up there. You never know.
Of course.
That's what I'm
Wouldn't
paid
want
for.
any unforeseen accidents.
Oh god, no. No accidents here, I assure you. Head on up. He does the same thing he did before. And walks in. You see another person opens the door for him from the inside. Another guard.
And he just disappears behind the door.
He disappears for a good 2 minutes. Is there anything you do during that time?
Hmm. With 2 minutes, I think Memnon would, if he could, speak to the actual bartender that's been called Faisal, and he'll try to subtly plant the suggestion, dominate in his mind to come to Memnon's house for dinner. I would say like in the next 2 evenings.
Okay. He doesn't know where you live,
Okay.
so
so
he
that-
won't be able to carry out that command.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is true.
He can only carry out a command that he understands and can perform. So if he doesn't know where you live, he can't actually carry out the command.
I would have to tell him where I live. Okay, so see, yeah, the 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Can I erase that action because I don't. The 2 minutes.
Fine,
you
yeah, that's why I notified you, because it's a common sense thing. Then one would know that he wouldn't be able to implant that command in him. He'd have to give away basically the location of where he lives.
Well, then can I at least can I do a peony on him? Because I want to see if Faisal's been paying attention to me because I've been talking to the guard.
Yeah, he has been. You don't need to roll for that. If you look around, you'll know that he keeps an eye on you when he's cleaning the bar and serving people drinks and talking to people. Gets into a healthy conversation, but he always looks back at you every now and then.
Does he look nervous or is he just?
Bit nervous. Bit aggressive.
Okay. Fair enough.
Very suspect look.
I guess in this time I guess Memnon will just wait it out until the guard comes back.
Guard comes on out. He walks up to you and says, hey, you said you dabbled in architecture, right?
Yes, that's true.
Where if I take you up on that offer you gave me before?
Of course. What is it that can be renovated or built new?
Pardon? Sorry?
Memnon asks, what can be renovated or built anew?
I think we'll have to have a look at the floor.
Memnon just gestures for him to lead the way.
You walk up the stairs, the other guards will let you through. You'll knock on the door 3 times. And he says, oi, it's only me. Got the architect I was talking about. And the door opens. And you're allowed in. The floor is not in any way damaged. As the door closes, but both guards will just attempt to grapple you from behind.
Oh, I see.
As Someone's just kind of sitting overlooking one of the windows. The area is actually quite well lit as you're about to be grabbed. It's got a very healthy torchlight. But the windows have their curtains pulled to near slits. So you just make your strength roll check and I'll make mine.
Can I blood buff at this point?
Yes, you can. We're not going to roll initiative because if you just resist a grapple, something's going to happen. So we'll make an initiative roll if things continue to escalate after this check.
All right. So this chat. Spend 2 blood points. Plus strength. +4.
Yeah.
Just strength, right? Can I include my potence?
Yeah.
So it's not strength and brawl, just strength.
Just strength. No, strength roll. Strength roll.
Oh, okay.
They roll really poorly, so.
10.
As long as you get 3 successes, you'll be fine. And you get 4, so yeah.
I guess Memnon does some kind of like unhand me, jerks loose or something.
Basically, yeah. I was gonna let you describe it, but yeah. So yeah, they kind of try. One tries to grab your right arm, the other tries to grab your left arm, and you just shake them off. They don't go for a straight up body slam. It's like they just try and like, kind of, grab your arms. And you shake them off and turn around and the man sitting on the chair at the back of the room goes, "Oh, what do I even pay you cretins for?" He'll just stand on up. Ah, hello, sir.
I take it that you are not in the market for reconstruction, are you?
Oh, no, not quite. The guards do put hands on your shoulders at this point in an attempt to, like, both reinforce the fact that they're there and also to save face before their supposed superior.
Memnon will just fold his arms. Well, do that.
We got this, boss. Now, I would like to say that going around asking about criminal activity in Riverside isn't the most intelligent idea, but why are you here again?
I'm looking for a man named Faisal, a merchant, and Memnon will give him his description.
And why?
It's a matter of business.
Not with the questions you've been asking, good boy.
Oh? How is it not? Business always comes with something to have and something to part with. Most of the time it's money. In this case, it can be money, but it's not only money.
Well then, if I may ask, what is your business here? Why are you looking for this man, Faisal? Because I know Faisal and he's never referred to you before.
Hmm.
In fact,
Yes.
I'm
I'm sorry, go
very
on.
certain he has never met you.
No, but he did seem to know of me. I had a friend ask him if he would accept a business partnership. It seems that there's a reputation going around that has caused, well, many people to think of me as a dishonest person to do business with. It has really vexed me, and I'd like to try to redeem my reputation by going to Faisal personal.
Faisal has never spoken of you before.
Well, perhaps I was given the wrong kind of information. Perhaps my sources were mistaken.
He's got more perception and empathy than you.
Okay. Which I counter it with.
One sec. Okay. You know, you're really quite a suspect, man. I would prefer if we could deal with each other perhaps more directly. I am Quill. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I am Memnon. A pleasure to meet you too.
Oh yes, I know Faisal hasn't heard of you, but I certainly do. You are the La Sombra down at the Smith's Guild, yes.
Wow, that's gonna make Memnon perk his ears. Hmm. The shadow at the Smith's Guild. Hmm. I'm sorry, is that some connotation about the color of my skin? Just gonna hold this card back a little bit.
Oh no, I'm not quite so uncivil. But I would rather you be able to leave my neighborhood feeling much more secure and satisfied with your time here rather than being thrown out of a window.
Hmm. 2 stories up. It's not gonna hurt me too much. But nonetheless, I'd rather not go through the experience.
To be fair, you'd be throwing yourself out of the window.
And how would that come to pass?
That depends on how this conversation breaks down, I suppose.
Is there any way Memnon can detect if he's like a breather, like alive?
Yeah, roll perception awareness.
Alrighty. Finally did buy that. Let's see if it works for me.
It's helpful.
It really is. Ooh.
His skin is pale and he doesn't appear to be breathing. Could just be thick clothing. He is as well dressed as he is in the overlay, and appears to have some sort of armor or padding beneath his actual clothes.
Well, sir, if you know me as the Lasombra in the guild hall, how may I know you? Something Quill and Riverside?
Oh, just Quill in Riverside will do, I think. I've always gone by that sobriquet. It's quite nice. Of course, you're quite privileged to have this information. Consider it a payment in good faith.
Well, perhaps we can do away with the certain necessary lies that keep society polite. So, you know something of me that is by definition it's rather problematic. So long as you are not amongst us, but I take it you are one of us. Is that right?
Well, I tend to stay out of court politics and the like. It's honestly just a ferocious mess.
I tried that once.
Yes, what with all the elders and ancients and Methuselahs in town, it's quite a volatile mix. I'm actually quite surprised there's so many of them here. But it's none of my business.
Well, Quill of Riverside. I came looking for what I would take as your man, Faisal.
Oh, very much my man, yes.
Because he seems to be on a very short list of people that the City Watch want to corral in. Now, I don't have any personal loyalties to the City Watch at large. However, I am trying to have a favor done for a favor for me that unfortunately is including the turning in of your friend Faisal. So, now you know what my aims really are. As for everything else and all the questions, well, sorting through such information is not always pleasant.
Oh, well, that's a mighty shame. May I ask what the deal in particular is? Maybe I can offer you something better. I'd rather we come out of this all content and satisfied now.
All I simply want is the recommendation of the captain of Riverside's watch to transfer a friend of mine inside the watch into the watch within my own domain. That is all.
I do less of a watch, but I could grant your good friend enough income that he'd never have to come here again. Maybe he just leaves the City Watch in Riverside and acquires himself a new position in the City Watch of the Merchants' Quarter.
I hadn't considered that angle. I forget that the watches aren't quite a unified body.
It's, well, it is and it isn't.
Then, what would it take to acquire this offer of yours? What is the bargain on my end?
He steeples his hands, very much like in the overlay. Well, I hear you're as good at making weapons as you are wielding one.
I think I fared better at the making. Still learning the wielding, though.
Well, needless to say, I would very much appreciate any access you'd be able to provide me to said arms. You don't have to make it yourself, of course. That would be a bit on the nose. I do prefer the very arm's length approach, if you understand.
Ah, yes. A shipment of crates that fell off a wagon of sorts.
Safer for everybody involved.
I see no reason why that cannot be arranged. I would like to reiterate that my sole involvement with the Watch of Riverside is only for the procurement of said transfer for my friend, which means once my friend is transferred, well, I do not have to be on the Watch's side.
Excellent. That makes this a lot easier. It would have been rather awkward for all of this to occur, and then we'd still end up on opposite sides of the line. That would be, well, it would be rather problematic, and I really do hate to disappear new faces. It's such a rare thing nowadays.
Yes, and I'm sure the prince has so much on her plate as it is. A war between two Canaanites is, well, the last thing she would need.
Oh yes, the prince need not be so involved with such trivial mortal concerns.
Of course.
Of course. Well, Master Menmon, is there any way I can get in touch with you?
Yes. You can perhaps send a preferred patron down to the Red Calf. And at the Red Calf, they can meet a woman. He'll give the description of her and what name she goes by, Sophia.
Excellent, excellent. Well then, I shall correspond with your good friend. We can come to an arrangement. I'm very glad this didn't conclude how I was expecting it to. It's a refreshing surprise. Really the first time in about a year or so.
I did mention that there were several names that was listed by the watch. Are there any perhaps rivals of yours who these men could be? I could still take them off the board. Perhaps not leave the captain with such a sour taste in his mouth.
Oh, one only needs to look north and south. Not that the watch is a particular threat to us. We've sustained ourselves quite well here. Took a few bodies, but then what doesn't?
Indeed. The pipeline that we are creating for your merchandise, I can assure you that I can make these, I can make the turnaround very quickly. I have nothing against working on the forge myself, but I can contract this out at a lower end if it is preferable to you.
Well, I leave that up to your discretion after all, that is. That is something on your particular end, not mine. That would not implicate myself, so.
Very true. May I ask but one more question?
I am all ears.
That dwarf, is he... And Memnon kind of gives a gesture like you and me.
Oh no, but he's remarkably entertaining. Now considering it.
He did challenge me. Would it be against your wishes if I were to take his record of victory?
No, I think that should work out quite well for the both of us.
Well, then if I have your permission to return on another night in order to challenge the dwarf, I gladly will.
You have my blessing, Master Menmon. He looks somewhat entertained.
Very well. Then I will depart your establishment. I'll let my woman know to be expecting someone.
Memon, do you want to make me a intelligence investigation roll?
Sure. Two success, maybe? Difficulties 6.
When you came up here, he was basically with a guard. Or rather, you assume he would have been with a guard and by himself here. But I'm thinking that doesn't really make any sense. Why would he just be standing here, like, waiting for, like, presumably hours for just something to happen? Why'd he be in an empty room all by himself? Should be noted there are a bunch of chairs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple chairs, and there's, like, a little small table and stuff. Like, it would make sense if he was here to discuss business with someone, not to just lounge around doing nothing. Maybe to feed, but there's no vessels here that you can see. It's not like he was conducting, like, menial chores, like desk work.
So it all appears as if he was waiting for something this entire time.
Either he was waiting for something this entire time, or he was hit with somebody else.
Oh, okay.
But then, how did they get out without you noticing? Or are they still here, and you just can't see them?
Right. Oh, I don't think it'd be proper etiquette to use shadow play in this room, so with its honor. I guess if Memnon can't take a second glance looking around, that's the only thing he could do. That's probably the only thing he would do. If that occurs to him.
Is there a problem, Master Menron?
Oh, I'm just looking around the decorum of your room. It's not quite what I think would, well, it's not what I would make my haven. Never above ground. I'm a below ground kind of person.
Well. I suppose that depends on your mindset. Anywho, I shall see you to your business. It was a pleasure to meet you, Master Menmon. Great pleasure.
Thank you. I enjoy the kind of business that can be done openly and honestly. Memnon offers a hand.
Oh, yes. As I said, true pleasure to meet my new Master of Arms.
Master of Arms. Okay. I don't think. If you want me to like roll something for like a poker face, so that Memnon doesn't react to it, I'm just saying Memnon would have an internal reaction.
Yeah, sure, roll it.
What works? Charisma subterfuge or like manipulated?
Yeah, just roll your manipulation subterfuge.
Oof.
Okay, he does notice your reaction.
Memnon's a little bit startled to be called his new master of arms. He won't say anything.
He doesn't react too much. He just, he shakes your hand, and then we'll see you off if you're happy to go.
Yeah. Yep. I guess once he's escorted downstairs, only thing Memnon will try to do on his way out is just tell the dwarf that he'll see him soon for that round, right?
The dwarf is all too happy to take you up on that. But I think with that, we can end the scene there. There's a shirtless dwarf and a shirtless Memnon go at it in a wrestling ring. Thank you, Claire, for playing. Thank you, watchers watching. I want to see you all next time.